Hey, what's up, my wolf pack? It's Wolfmaster here, and I'm coming at you again with another Card Fight Vanguard deck profile. Now, those of you who have been with the channel long enough know that my first video was me showing my Link Joker deck, and after that I made, more videos, and then a remake of the Link Joker deck came up, and yeah, I just remade my Link Joker deck. Before I get into it, though, I want to say that this is not a Messiah build. This is a build that I chosen because I personally like the style a little better. Honestly, the Messiah that's on this mat, that's probably the only Messiah unit you're going to see in this video. So take a good look. Great artwork, isn't it? Alright, let's get started. Alright, first up for grade zeros. First up, my old starter is back, which is Star Vader Dusttail Unicorn. This card is pretty much is one of the best starters for Link Jokers, if not the best. His ability is that if your opponent has a locked card, you can counterblast one, put this unit into the soul, and then lock another card. So that's very useful, especially for this deck. Next up, for Asteroid Wolf, which is a critical trigger. I mean, he's a wolf. Obviously, I have to have him in here. He's a wolf. This is the wolf pack. And then, for Apollonel Dragon, Star Vader Apollonel Dragon, another critical trigger. Then, for Star Vader Stellar Garage, a heal trigger. I liked this guy's artwork a little bit better than Pixie Powder, to be honest. And I'm going to take him out because, I want to put in that Recollection Star Vader heal trigger card. All I know is it's called Recollection Star Vader. Or I just haven't gotten it yet. And lastly, for Draw Trigger, which is the Vortex Star Vader Molybdenum. I'll just say Vortex Star Vader. So yeah, that's my trigger lineup. That's my starter right there. Okay, next up are my grade 1s. 4 of the new Perfect Guard, which is Flowers and Vacuum Cosmo Wealth. Not Wealth, Wreath. Cosmo Wreath. Yeah, so you guard with that, and if you haven't, and after you discard a card, if you have a copy of her in the drop zone, then you can unflip a card in the damage zone. So that helps, considering that this deck is a little counterblast heavy, but yeah, this card helps with that. Next up is 4 Star Vader Volt Line. When this card boosts a successful attack that hits a Vanguard, you can choose one of your opponent's locked rear guards and Omega Lock it, which means at the end of the opponent's turn, the locked card will not be unlocked. Basically, it's a lock that lasts for 2 turns. So that really helps. And then 3 Demon Claw Star Vader Lanthanum. This card's ability is that when your opponent's rear guard is locked due to an effect from one of your cards, this gets plus 2,000 power. And that's for each lock. So, I put this guy in here because, he's a decent card and he gets a decent amount of power. He's a decent booster. That's why I have him in here. And lastly, for my grade 1s, are 3 Destiny Dealer, which is the Stride Enabler for Link Jokers. His first effect is the effect where, you reveal a grade 3 in your hand, search for a grade 3 with Messiah in its name, but like I said, I don't use any Messiah cards in this deck. I just use this card for stride fodder, and when I need to, I'll call it out to the field for a 7k boost. Alright, now for my grade 2s. 4 Starvader Astro Reaper, which is the Legion mate of pretty much the boss card of the deck, which is Starvader Dark Zodiac. I'll get to him in a few minutes, but yeah, this card's ability is that when it hits an opponent's Vanguard, you can Soul Blast one and look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then search for one card with the same name as a unit on your Vanguard circle, and then you reveal it to your opponent and put it to the bottom of your deck in any order you want. So basically this card is like, it's basically a Link Joker version of the Cursed Breath from Murakumo, except, you know, this card requires a Soul Blast and a successful attack. And then 4 Sunset Edge Duskblade, which is probably like my favorite grade 2 in the deck. I just love this card's artwork. I especially love that sword that he has. I love the way he looks in the anime, but yeah, his ability is Generation Break 1, and when he's boosted, you can Counterblast 1 and then choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards and lock it. So yeah, I threw him in here for obvious reasons. I mean, lock the field, that's the point of this deck. And then, lastly for my grade 2s is 3 Unrivaled Starvader Radon. This card is just, I mean, it's the 12k attacker as long as I have a Starvader as my, you know, as my Vanguard, and, you know, my grade 3s are Starvaders, so yeah, this just comes in handy when I need that extra power. Alright, next up are the grade 3s of the deck. And let me show this one first, then I'll show the boss card. I've been running 4 Starvader Nebula Lord Dragon. Mostly because, like, again, if anyone saw my original first video, my original Link Joker deck, knew that I had 2 of this guy, and he was basically my Link Joker avatar at first. And yeah, in this deck, I can use his Limit Break to pretty much the fullest extent, I would say. His Limit Break ability is that during your turn, all your cards in the front row that are Link Joker get 3,000 power for each one of your opponent's locked rear guards. So if you manage to lock all your opponent's field, get this guy out, and 15k to the front row. You can't really argue with that. That's really good. And his other ability is that you can Counterblast 2 and choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the back row and lock it. So yeah, like, he's pretty good when I need that extra surge of power to finish my opponent off. And finally, which is basically the boss unit in the main deck, and that is 4 Starvader Dark Zodiac. His Legion ability is that when he performs Legion, you Counterblast 1, and then any cards that are locked during the end phase are Omega locked. But you have to Counterblast 1 when this card performs Legion. And his other ability is that, you know, you can basically discard him from your hand to lock 2 of your opponent's rear guards, one in the front, one in the back. Yeah, it can either be him, or if he's in Legion, you can discard Astro Reaper to use that effect. So yeah, that's the main deck, and now I'll get into the Stride deck. I'll get out my Cray Elementals first. I've been running 1 Miracle Element Atmos and 2 Blizza. Atmos, basically, when he attacks a Vanguard, you counterblast 1, and then he gets 10,000 power. So, you know, that helps. I mean, the first stride I mainly go for him, simply because I like to get that power rush in to see if pressure my opponent to guard. And Blizza here is a good card because when he attacks, you choose a face-down card in your G zone, and then turn it face up, and then he gets 5,000 power for every G unit that's face up. So, yeah, that's really, really good for this. I mean, almost every Stride deck has this guy. Because, you know, he's just really useful. And then, for the ones that aren't Cray Elementals, I have 1 Maximum Nebula Dragon, Maximum Seal Dragon. His ability is that when he attacks an opponent's Vanguard, you can counterblast 1 and he gets 5,000 power for each one of their locked rear guards. So, yeah, that's really good, considering, like, if you Omega Lock your opponent's whole field, get this guy out, he attacks, and he gets 25k, that's 51,000 power by himself. I was going to put 2 in here, but I realized that 2 Blizzas would be a little bit better for this, because there's a chance where I'm not always going to, you know, lock everything my opponent has, or I mean, at least most of what my opponent has. And, yeah, Blizza is just a good option. And finally, 4 of the boss stride of the deck, which is Nebula Dragon, Big Crunch Dragon. I just want to show this one to the camera, because this one happens to be an SP. I pulled this out of a box at my locals. Then I pulled one out of another pack, traded to get another one, and got the other one online. So, yeah, I was really lucky. But, yeah, this card kind of makes the deck in its own way. If you don't know what he does, his ability is Counterblast 1, and then choose a face-down copy of him, and flip it face up. And if the number of cards in your G zone face up is 2 or more, then you can choose an opponent's rear guard, and then lock every unit in that column, and they are Omega locked. So that's really, really good right there. You can just shut down a whole column right there. And the reason why he makes the deck so much is because, you know, that Omega lock there, and then next turn you can Legion with Dark Zodiac. Those guys are Omega locked again. Then you can discard another card. You can discard a copy of him or the Legion mate. Lock 2 more, and then use this effect if you have it. Omega lock the opponent's whole field. So that's really good. So that is my updated Link Joker deck. It's really good. I like it. I love using it. It's fun to use. The deck's name is still Galaxy Apocalypse, but I guess you could consider this Galaxy Apocalypse 2.0. So yeah, like, this deck it's awesome. Like, I went up against a Royal Paladin Jewel Knight user, and I managed to Omega Lock his whole field. I didn't win that match, but still, it was really fun. Alright, so that's it for this video. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to... I'm repeating myself again. Be sure to break ride, Legion Mate, and stride that like button, because all that stuff is great for the Vanguard. I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Keep howling my wolf pack. Ow!